All right, episode 69. 2 years, baby. 2 years.
Well,
let's
over
close.
2 years.
I think we missed the 2-year birthday
of the main
by
show
a week or two.
Yeah.
Here, let's do this little shot here.
Little
here
shot.
We go. All right, everybody.
Cheers. Oh, that was hideous. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Is it good?
Hey, this is awful.
It's awful? I got Shane mango Pepsi. I saw it at the store, and it seemed like a disgusting thing he would like. I did my best,
I'm trying to save up enough ideas here for Human Expedition, but I can't seem to get my ideas
I was going to say
tally high enough.
I'm not sure if we need to embargo the tapping game.
Have you ever seen that movie where it's like a plague that is spread through talking? Pontypool. That's what talking about the game is. You're infecting other people with having to play the game.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny too. I don't know what kind of ads you guys get from this game, because this game is so insidious for a number of reasons. But the main one is that it's basically just the entire thing, more so even I feel than other games. It's just everything is just a transaction for you to agree to watch an ad video. That's all the entire point of the game is. But the ads that they show me are very funny to me because they're all horny boomer man games with you're a king and there's maidens with
oh, that's interesting. That's not what I get.
Yeah, that's not what you get. That's what I get.
It must be targeted.
I'm very insulted that that's what the ad algorithm thinks of me.
Me and Cari get the same ads, which may be due to the fact that all of our shit is linked because we watch YouTube and stuff.
We have different accounts on different TVs and shit.
So the ads that we get are all, or I'll speak for myself. The ads that I get are what I can imagine to be only very gendered ads towards young women and young girls.
I get some of those too. Yeah.
It thinks I'm young.
Games that are about makeovers.
Yeah,
and,
I get that. I get one called Bit Life. That's a game. It's it seems like a relationship or dating simulator. But
I haven't gotten that.
One of the choices. It's in the ad. It's it looks like he cheated. You got pregnant, but found out that fucking Mark cheated on you. What are you gonna do? And the two choices are have abortion, keep the baby.
Oh my god!
Yeah. I got an ad similar to that, where it's it gives you only two choices. The other one though I keep getting is it's old lady house.
Oh yeah, I get that one.
It's an actual, keyed in shot of an older woman who is kind of standing with her arms crossed, looking at the screen, being you have $40,000 to redecorate my summer cottage, and then the ad shows somebody playing the game really badly, and redecorates it to look like shit, and so then the end of the ad, the woman is hands in head, oh my god, you spent $40,000 on this, and it's
and it just looks like shit though.
Yeah, the other ones that I've gotten that I'd never even heard of until a while ago when me and you started talking about these kind of weird ads, Cari, because you were saying the ones that you get targeted. Now that I'm seeing ones that are aimed at young women, the lot of the makeover ones are
it's
there's
so awful.
It's a little animated young woman,
and she's wretched.
Yeah,
she's
no, and they're even the ads
literally covered in
she's
shit.
Ugly as shit.
Yeah,
help her look better.
Yeah,
and then you have a few kind of puzzle options of what to do, and then again the ad makes it so that you make all the wrong choices.
Right, it'll just dump shit on her head and paint her skin green or whatever.
Right,
and she starts crying
with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend's I hate you now.
Yeah,
I'll never see you again.
Yeah.
And it's can you fix her?
Yeah, I can fix her.
I could fix her.
I think again, for context for the listener, we all had the lovely chance to see each other for a couple of days last week, for a nice little summer vacation, and in anticipation when we were driving up there, because it was quite a long drive for us, I was just looking for shit to do on my phone, and I downloaded some kind of idle whatever game just based on okay, here's something I'd spend 30 minutes playing, and a day in I was you two should not get this game because it'll ruin your life. And then you both immediately downloaded it. Immediately. We spent 3 days just playing this fucking game and not even looking at each other.
Because it's I get very into idle games, and you knew that about me before you told me about this game. Because
I know, that's why I said don't download it.
But if I know about it, I have to do it. Like, I told you, I think I mentioned when we were all together that, like, my friend at work had told me about Universal Paperclip, which is, like, at least this one is on the phone and it has graphics. Universal Paperclip is just, like, in your browser, just text, and you're selling paper clips.
It was one of the first ones, I think.
Maybe.
You're selling paper clips?
It's so good, dude. You have to check it out. But my friend at work, like, told me about it, like, this is so stupid. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's so dumb. And then I just played it for, like, the next, like, 6 months over and over. Because it ends up being, like, the same kind of thing of, like, then you invent AI to keep selling more paper clips, and you need to explore the universe to get more energy to make paper clips.
Endless progression.
Yeah, I love it.
Endless thing, whatever. I mean, my favorite experience with it was, like, there was one of the days we were hanging out, and me and you, Cari, we were both playing it, and Chris was like, what's up with this game? And we were like, no, don't get it. I was like, no, let me get it. And he downloaded it. And for the first, like, 20 minutes, you were like, I don't even get this. Like, what am I supposed to do? And then a half hour later, you were just silent. And then you were like, oh, shit, I got apes now. And I just saw you with the 5 fingers on the phone.
Oh, I perfected my, I put it on my thigh, and I just, like,
you were going off, dude. We're, like trying to watch a movie, and you're, like,
trying to break a clam on its belly. Like, resting. Yeah, dude, it's fucked up. I mean, that's why, like, I know I've brought this up probably way too many times on the show now, but there's a great book about casinos and casino logic and the design of slot machines and stuff.
Oh yeah, dude.
And you know, there is such a crossover between that and then the sort of like casual gaming market that was introduced on smartphones about a decade ago. Because there are people who are like, will drop just so much money on those games because, again, like you were saying, Chris, everything in the game is a transaction to a next step where it's like you can watch an ad for 30 seconds or you could like pay a little premium by using some premium objects.
And buy their in-game currency or whatever.
And you might get some premium objects sometimes, but you could also just buy them.
Right.
And that's how, like, stuff like that, like they really get targeted around certain kinds of patterns of behavior and certain, types of individuals that are called whales, the people who like who are either obscenely wealthy or going into debt to play games like this, like microtransaction games. People who will spend like $10,000 on a game like this. And the other version of it too that I've read about is like kids. Like if parents give their kids a smart device or whatever, and they have something like that, and they have the ability to like buy stuff through the game, like kids sometimes, because they won't know necessarily the financial consequences of it. They'll like run up like a fucking $1,000 credit card debt on their parents' like phone bill or data plan.
Yeah, every few months there's like a story about that. Like I think the last one I saw was like a little kid ended up racking up $16,000 on his mom's iPad playing some game because you just click, and it just gives you the stuff in the game. Sure, why not?
See, we're playing it smart.
Yeah, right? I would never do that.
We're like, oh my god! All I have to do is watch a 20-second ad where a lady gets shit on her face, and I get double my points at the end of it. Easiest choice I've ever made. Yeah.
Speaking of like insidious like advertising algorithms, I had an experience last night where I went to a concert, and when I was at the concert, I got like a notification through Spotify that was like an ad for another concert in the area that I would be interested in. It's like someone I listened to, and I was like, that's really fucking weird because I don't get like ads for concerts. Like I don't get stuff like that usually from Spotify, and then I happened to get one like while I'm actually at a concert, and like because that same day I fucking like went in my Gmail and like downloaded the tickets to my fucking Google Drive and stuff. So like, is it a coincidence? I don't know. It might be, but it seemed pretty spooky.
There was I think Edward Angueso Jr. had a thread the other day about how there's so many ways that we're like surveilled that we don't even realize. True. And it is just crazy. I've had stuff like that too. I mean, a lot of times, did you get it while you were at the?
Yeah.
A lot of times they use like geofencing stuff to like trigger alerts on your phone, and it is really crazy when you really think about like just the depth of surveillance that's happening in our phones without us even like thinking about it. Like you don't even know to go look for that to turn it off, right? great. I don't even know how you would turn it off. And like I've worked with computers for over a decade. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, don't download this game that we won't name.
I'm tapping away. I just got 250 fish. And it gives me one of the purple cubes. I'm just going back and like maxing out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I know what the fuck is up. Trust me. I fucking know what's up.
Totally ruined brains.
Yeah,
I mean, like irrevocably damaged.
Yeah,
from this.
Dumb ape brains that just need the dopamine from clicking the buttons on the screen. That's it.
No, I actually think that like I think we're gonna watch Death of Stalin again tonight because
you just like missed it from.
I
clicking.
Completely missed it. I was playing this game the entire time you were watching it, and I was like, oh, that was actually good. I would like to actually pay attention to that movie. So now I need to watch it again.
It is fun.
That was my second time watching it, and I actually liked it even more than the first time. It's a really, really fucking funny movie.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi is great in it.
Is so good.
Oh yeah. Jason Isaacs.
Zukov.
Yeah, when he's like, oh, you should have seen your face or whatever. That's like the best moment in the movie.
No, I remember that part.
So
the funniest thing to me is fucking Steve Buscemi as Khrushchev,
he's so good.
Just regular Steve Buscemi voice,
just
New York accent,
just
Steve Buscemi voice. Yeah, it's just Steve Buscemi.
Because I was like super plugged in when that movie was about to come off, because it was like so, that was like all of my synapses were alike when I found out they were making that movie. And I remember when I first heard like the casting and I saw the trailer and it was like Steve Buscemi as Khrushchev.
Right.
Like, what a mistake. And then I saw the film and I was like, mwah, perfect.
I just realized that I did, just so you guys know, full disclosure, I started a Universal Paperclips game, and I just realized my mic has been picking up my clicks the whole time, so I'm gonna stop doing that. And
Jesus
I'm so
Christ.
sorry. And I'm so sorry.
Christ.
I mean, I got my phone right behind the microphone, just clicking away.
You guys are tapping during
No,
the
I'm not.
Stop.
I stopped.
Stop.
This is
I'm not strong enough.
This is a job. I want to make the paper clips so bad.
Oh God, do it on your own time.
I will do it on my own time. I will.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry.
Did any of us post, speaking about our fucking trip to West Virginia, did anybody post about the fucking the mansion, the VDare fucking
I think
castle?
Mike made a post about it.
Maybe.
We were in to the listener, we were in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, and there's like this big fucking like castle like sitting on the fucking hillside, like overlooking town, and we drove by it a few times. So I like decided to Google it, and like it turns out like yes, it's called I've got it here in front of me, the Samuel Taylor Cottage rather. I guess it's like a rich person joke to call the castle a cottage, I suppose. But it was built in the 1800s. But we come to find out that it was purchased last year by Peter Brimelow, the founder of VDare, the like fucking like Nazi fucking like racist organization website.
Mm-hmm.
And they built it. They purchased it for $1.4 million, which seems like not a small sum of money, but seems like rather small for like a historic.
That's how much like a house here costs.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty big. It was pretty big.
Yeah.
And I think also too, when we were looking into it a little bit while we were there, it like used to be kind of open to the public to the point where like you could kind of rent it out to have events. I guess people would have like weddings or other kinds of events, and now it's like there's a gate and it's like shut, and it's like literally like the SS castles that like Himmler built across Europe at the height of the Nazi power. Now it's like you can't go in, and I guess during the summer they'll have their like their rituals where they go up there and worship the Tesseract or whatever the fuck they get up to in this weird Nazi castle.
Every time we drove by it, I would hang my head out the window, and this was in the hopes that I would see somebody like standing in the driveway or something, so I could just flick them off. That's what I was just hoping for every time we drove by. We should have gone and investigated it. We should have.
I like that there's a bunch of reviews that are like mad that it's closed to the public now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I guess it's been closed on and off because there's like a bunch of reviews over the years that are like, loved having my wedding here, and then another one like, my daughter wanted to have her wedding here and we couldn't, and I hate it.
It'd be good if that was a reply to the first one. Oh, so glad you enjoyed your wedding.
So happy for you. Yeah. I had not gotten a good look at it since I was driving. Every time I went by it, and it is huge. There's like a gargoyle.
There's many gargoyles.
Oh my goodness! Look at these fucking What a weird place for
actually, I'm looking at the picture of it on the Wikipedia page, and they've actually, I guess the VDARE has done this. VDARE is because there's only one gargoyle pictured on the.
Have they added
gargoyles?
Here.
There was many gargoyles.
Oh my god! Gotta upgrade.
Those were
gargoyles.
the Nazis. Those were the Nazis themselves.
They just actually entombed like Operation Paperclip Nazis and put them in cement around the VDARE castle. Didn't you guys also look it up, or maybe Mike did? And it was like there's the most of it whenever it was first built.
Oh yeah,
and then there's another area where the person who was originally constructing it, they died or something, and then whoever else inherited it or bought the property next, finished the construction, but really shittily. And there's pictures on the inside where you can see there's a very clear line in between when it was finished by somebody who was putting all their money into it versus okay, we got to just now deck out the rest of this wooden frame or whatever, and it just looks like dog shit. Just very funny to me.
No, it was funny to me as well because it was in the Wikipedia. It was in the first paragraph of the Wikipedia page. The last sentence is the post 1888 work is of noticeably inferior quality.
Why is because I was just reading and it says it was purchased by VDARE, a tax exempt organization. Why the fuck are they tax exempt? Aren't they just Nazis?
Because they're a church.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true. I just said that.
Is it supposed to be a fucking charity? They are explicitly white nationalists, right?
Oh yes, they are. Yes. They are.
That's interesting. I wish I could be tax exempt.
Tax exempt. I mean, anybody can be tax exempt
if I just choose to not pay my taxes. Yeah.
Peter Brimlow. I'm looking at him now. Mm-hmm. He looks like a low tier Nazi.
Let's look at him.
He looks at a D-list Nazi that you stumble upon.
Trash tier.
I mean the original crop of Nazis.
Let's look at him.
He looks like
his hair.
Oh my god! Look at his hair.
It's not the hair I expected. Yeah, it's not.
That's a toupee, dude. That's a bad toupee.
You think so?
He's got kind of those weird the old Confederate chop.
Okay, but look at this picture.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at this picture and tell me that this is not a bad toupee. I'll put it in our research channel because this is serious episode research.
Yeah.
Look, you can see there's no hairline. That's the giveaway of a wig or a toupee.
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
there's no separation line
from some years ago. I would
maybe he got hair implants or something. No, this all looks like a toupee.
This is the picture I'm looking at him right now from the SPLC, which is just calling him.
It's funny. It's funny at least for wearing a toupee that he appears to have retired his brown toupee as he's gotten older, and now he has a
because he thinks
toupee.
He's fooling everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I would just, if it were me, I'm not a Nazi, so I would just graciously go bald. That's just my opinion.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like shit. He looks, he's got this is one picture of him here. He's got fucking Emperor Palpatine bags under his eyes.
He is a very evil looking man.
I mean, it's interesting that they bought that particular spot because we also, when we were talking about getting together for the summer, because it's been quite a long time since any of us have all seen each other, we kind of just randomly picked a spot just because it was hey, here's a place where you can rent a cabin or whatever, and we can all drive there. It's it was just a convenient meeting point for all of us because we're quite far with you guys being in Tennessee and us being in Philly, and it turns out this town is a used to be the premier resort for the Washington elite, and I guess there's some vestige of that still because there is in town there's George Washington's bathtub.
Yeah, bullshit.
Which you guys
garbage.
went to.
I saw it. Yeah,
it was it's a little Roman bath or something.
It's a fucking a trench dug out of the fucking ground. Awful shit tier fucking bathtub for a president.
And there's mineral springs or hot springs or something around there. Mm-hmm. And so it's it's got a kind of a vacation-y vibe, but for a syphilitic, like wooden toothed
right.
idiot from like the late 18th century.
Well, I just when I was there, because we went and like checked out like the original, like the Roman bathhouse, I guess is what they call it, like the original like spa in the town and stuff. We were just like, just imagine how much fucking like weird like Harvey Kellogg stuff was going on here in like the early fucking 20th century, like fucking yogurt enemas and whatever fucking sick shit they were doing.
It was a nice town though. I mean, it seemed like
I had a nice time
for that kind of area. Again, I don't know much. I don't think this trip was wholly representative of what West Virginia has to offer, because it was like literally the sort of northeastern tip of West Virginia. But we're driving through. It's like rural and it's
a nice area.
It's cool. It's a cool little town.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
They've got like the Cat Cafe and
I wish we went there.
There was a and I posted this too, because there was that picture, there was that chalkboard that was outside a fucking pawn shop I drove by.
Oh yeah, with the Pepe.
And I could not make heads or tails of it. Yeah, it's they've like drawn two Pepe the Frog like memes on it, and it says, "They may take our plants, but they'll never take our pride." And
I don't. Was it a plant store?
No, it was a pawn shop.
It was a pawn shop.
I really like wanted to go in and ask like.
I wonder if it's like coded or whatever.
Plants have they taken away?
What's the Pepe thing about?
We need to research
Is this at all familiar or affiliated with the fucking Vidare mansion?
They may take our plants, but they will never take our pride. And it's like the smiling Pepe at the end. Oh, maybe it's like a veiled reference to like white pride, right? That's why it's like the little cheeky Pepe at the end.
The word pride actually looks white, and it's the only word on there that's white, actually. Now that I look at it. I don't know.
I'm cracking the code.
It's suspicious.
Another little interesting thing for our own internal canon, again, this being 2 years now that we've been doing the show, as of a week or so ago, whatever. Jim Justice.
Oh yeah,
governor of West Virginia.
It's so funny seeing his name on the signs coming into the state.
That was our third episode, I want to say, of the show.
Oh ever. I believe it was.
Oh,
yeah, when we talked about him and Don Blankenship and some of the other Cole people. Yeah. I mean, it was so bizarre again to drive through there, and again to be somewhere where it's like, oh, he's the governor, and I think Cari even said like, oh, who is he? And I said, he's the richest man in the state.
Right.
And he's just by merit of that, he's governor.
Yeah.
It's like that's like the kind of level of weird satire or parody that you expect from like, I don't know, like Red Dead Redemption, or something. It's just like the richest man in the state, he's governor. But it's like, no, that's what it is.
I think my favorite part of the trip was when we went to the grocery store and there was just a guy with like a big full-size blue parrot, and he was wearing a shirt.
I wish I'd seen that.
That said,
I wish I'd seen that.
Just took a DNA test, found out I'm 100% that veteran. Just like a really cool guy. And he was like saying hi to everybody with his parrot. He was going into the grocery store with his parrot. Yeah. No issues. The parrot was very well trained. I wish I had said hello.
Everybody knows the parrot.
Yeah, he's known throughout the town for sure.
Yeah. Like 100%. I mean, because also parrots, especially that size of a parrot, they tend to be. They live quite long. Oh, no.
That's not what he was going to say.
No, I was going to say, they live a long time. They're pets for a lifetime.
I think parrots are cool. I don't think they're disgusting.
If he has that parrot, again, yes, everybody knows him. Oh, that's Jim.
There goes Jim, the parrot guy.
And he comes in, and everybody says hello to the parrot as well. Everybody's like, hi.
What's the parrot's name?
Beluga.
Beluga?
I don't know. Beluga? I was thinking my uncle had a parrot when I was a kid. My uncle had a parrot named Roxy, and
that's a great name.
They lived in Jersey, and I remember the parrot, like when I was a little, it must have died when I was a little kid too, but it was one of those larger parrots. It was like a big green parrot, and they had it in their house, and it would just shout all the time because they didn't bother to train it. So it would just shout its own name constantly. And it had like a slight Jersey accent because they were all like either, Italians or Hispanic or some mix of the two from Jersey. And so it was like, Roxy! 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 And then they go, Roxy, shut up! Roxy! Just all day. There's just like every Christmas Christmas when I was a little kid.
We should get a parrot.
I would love. I mean, I
should get Rollo a parrot.
Yeah, just to torment Rollo.
I'm very juvenile, and I do like the parrots that like. And I've watched a number of times. There's a couple of YouTube compilations of people who own parrots, who I guess I'm assuming are in the same valence as like my uncle and his family at the time, where they just kind of like get a parrot and they're like, hey, look at this, I can get the parrot to say shit and dick. And there's like a bunch of YouTube. There's a bunch of YouTube compilations of just like parrots cursing, and it's just like parrots who are like, fuck you, fuck you. And I would 100% get one just to torment Rollo, just to like fly over him and go like, Rollo, fuck you, over and over again.
Oh, poor Rollo. Oh, he's a good boy.
He had a little bit of an adventure too.
Sure.
Yeah, he met Stella, and they got along.
It was so great.
Yeah,
they're dating.
wonderful. Yeah.
They're dating now.
Best friends now. There was, if we're talking about the trip, I have to mention, for me, what was the headline. And I imagine for Chris, it certainly was the headline as well, but just based on behavioral patterns. But with we wanted to get a place that had like a hot tub, and for me, that was like 90% of the trip, which was like being in the hot tub, which apparently you're not supposed to do, especially when it's like 90 degrees.
And it certainly was that hot.
It actually was fine for me. I had no problems. There was like one day I was in there for 4 or 5 hours. I came out. I felt perfectly fine.
Multiple times, everyone present was like, is Shane gonna die?
Yeah.
Multiple times.
You can drink as much as you want in one. It's very normal.
Yeah. You don't get drunk faster. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you also do not get dehydrated. I want to make that clear.
You're like so cool when you're in a hot tub and healthy.
Yeah, exactly. But there was one point where we had Rollo like tied up to the post or whatever near there, and most of us were in the hot tub, and he got very antsy and wanted to be with us, so he jumped right in.
I was so shocked.
And he does not really like water, so it was surprising.
But he loved it. He was swimming around.
Yeah, he was just like hanging out.
He was like,
I
want to be a part of it. We took him out immediately, just so everybody knows.
I want everybody else to know that I would have just let him hang out with me in the hot tub.
I took him out of the hot tub immediately, so he
was having a great time.
Yeah.
It was bubbling. I mean, for me again too, like just thinking back in terms of like highlights of the trip, there were like several moments where like it would just be like a bunch of us in the hot tub, and we'd just be like silent for a long time, and then we would just like exchange new insider information that we discovered about the hot tub.
Oh yeah, dude.
And we'd be like, oh dude, did you even see this?
Check out what this knob does. Yeah.
It opens up new jets. Yeah. Everybody should have one. I think they should be
the government
a chicken
in
every pot.
Yeah,
100%. There should be subsidized.
If Bernie had won,
we'd all be in hot tubs right now
for sure.
Everybody deserves a nice dip.
That's right.
A relaxing. It works on your muscles. You can stay in there as long as you want.
It felt great on my back. with my back problems, it felt awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, overall, I recommend getting a hot tub. I know everybody here, just like us, can afford it.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
We've got a couple now.
I looked it up. It's like $multi-$1,000s plus, like you have to like build like a whole concrete
we will never have
pad or whatever to put one on, and then you have to reroute the what you call it, the like water system and stuff to it. It's quite an involved process.
Yeah.
But you don't have
to reroute the water. You can just fill it up one time and just one time.
That's fine.
With a pitcher.
What's the big deal?
You got to fill it with scum bugs. There were a lot of bugs.
There were a lot of bugs. There were a lot of bugs.
We were in the woods. I still have bites like all over my arm.
Well, it was also like the it seemed like the design flaw too of putting like a really bright like bare light bulb as like the only outdoor light like outside of right outside of every door. So then it's just
so they just fly right in.
They just fly right in every time you.
They
open
love
it,
to be inside.
Second. They really do. Yeah.
They need it.
It didn't occur to me until literally when we got there after like a 5-hour drive, and we're walking like up to the house, and I saw there was like a cicada that was like entombed in like a spider, like a giant spider's web, and I was like, oh right, there was like a cicada locust swarm.
Yeah, because we hadn't seen that up here. Yeah.
Not too long ago, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was I'm glad I didn't see that, but I did see a lot of other terrifying things.
Sure. But what better way to spend a little time in the summer with a couple of pals, just in a medically unsafe, hot, bubbling soup that boils you alive.
Falling asleep.
Yeah. Oh, I fell asleep.
Oh, I'm very.
Yeah, we know, dude. We were watching you. We were worried.
And if you get sleepy in a hot tub,
just do
that
it.
Means it's working.
Just go to sleep. No big deal.
Just take a nap. It's okay. I can float. I've got enough mass.
Yeah.
That's filled with air inside of me. I'm basically like a life-size floaty. I can float.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'll be fine.
I'm really glad you survived.
If you see me in the hot tub, I'm fine. It's okay.
Even if he's face down in the water.
DNR. I want a do not resuscitate option for me. In the hot tub. Yeah. You guys, I mean, unless you don't want me to say it, but you guys did shrooms in the hot tub, if I'm not mistaken.
I did not get in the hot tub.
Oh, I
shrooms.
did. I very much did. Yeah, it rocked, actually.
I was too busy crying and sweating. Crying in a good way. I was just laughing a lot. Yeah.
You were extremely wet. I'm moist.
Me?
Cut that. Yeah. I mean, Cari, you were so just on your surface and everything, just like.
I think it was normal. I was totally.
It was an incredibly normal
nobody could tell that I was on any substance.
Yeah.
I was just hanging out with my pals, being cool.
And the best way to ensure that nobody can tell is to be like bawling, crying, and laughing, and go up to somebody and be like, "You can't tell that I'm on mushrooms."
Yeah.
You guys woke me up because we.
Oh, I did wake you up. That's true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
I took a dip in the hot tub early in the morning, and then you guys all took shrooms, and for whatever reason, after spending 3 or 4 hours in that hot tub, extremely hungover, I got very sleepy, and you all encouraged me to go take a nap, so I did. And the next thing I remember is you all woke me up to go look at like the shower curtain.
Yeah.
And you wanted me to like agree with you about what the texture of it was.
I don't think Chris was involved in that.
No, I missed all of this.
That was
okay.
I was in the hot tub.
Chris was chilling.
You went right back.
Yeah, he did.
I was just mostly in the hot tub. The lights, man, the lights and the surface of the water.
Oh, that must have been cool.
Really good stuff. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I looked at the woods, which you can see from the hot tub, and I was like, this is a Lovecraftian nightmare. I'm going to stop looking at this now. So I don't think I could have gone in the hot tub. But yeah, I recommend shrooms. It was my first time doing it, and it was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Here's a weird thing for me. It was actually the first time, and I think I told you guys this. It was the first time in like 12 years or something like that. And I remember the last time I'd done it was at a music festival, not actually that far from where we were staying, called Delfest, the Del McCurry like festival in Cumberland, Maryland. And actually it's so weird, like what a weird coincidence that the last time I did mushrooms, it was also the last time I'd seen this band called the Davison Brothers Band. It was like a local like West Virginia like rock country band or something like that. But they were actually the opening act last night at the show that I went to. And I didn't even know they were going to be there.
What a cycle.
That's so funny.
What a cycle.
Yeah.
Pretty wild stuff.
I think I expected shrooms to be like enlightening and like a revelatory like trip experience, but no, I was just laughing and sweating. It was great.
I felt really good. No, that's what I needed it because I hadn't done anything like that in a long time. And no, I definitely I was a bit nervous going into it that I would like think about bad stuff or something like that. But actually, quite the contrary. It was very nice.
Yeah, it's very easy to stop thinking about bad stuff if it pops into your head when you're on it.
Yeah, you know, just
it's extremely normal.
It's so I could do it every day and nobody would know. It would just be normal.
Really, my main takeaway from that, because I think me and Mike were the only people in the house who had not taken shrooms. My takeaway was after I was woken up and then basically cajoled into being an accessory to your shroom trip was every 30 seconds you looking at me crying and laughing and telling me very adamantly how normal you were being.
Yeah.
And me going like, yep, you look great.
Doing
you
a great
fine.
job.
I did look great.
Normal.
It's all okay.
Yeah.
Everything was good.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about ever.
Yeah, it was a really nice, relaxing time, you know, and it made me also think, like, not to get political, but it made me think, like, you know, I have been somewhat able, when I was like working full time in my 20s, I was basically able to like every other year take a week off and go do some kind of trip thing.
Right.
And usually it was something where, even though it wouldn't cost a lot of money in like the grand scheme of things, it would be enough to like kind of financially set me back to the point where like I didn't have savings or whatever.
Right.
And I'm not talking about like extravagant things. I'm talking about like going on like a little weekend trip like that, like we did, like 3 or 4 nights or whatever. And when you have something like that, it's such a reset.
Oh yeah.
You know, there was so many times like we were just like hanging out there and we were in the woods and we were all just like kind of vibing and chilling out. I don't really know if there's a better word for it. And, you know, the consensus was just like, hey, we all kind of needed this. Just like to do this, to kind of do nothing. To kind of
way more than I even knew.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, obviously something like the hot tub, it was like a plus.
Right.
But like just like going in there and like chilling out, it's not like we were doing anything wild and crazy. We would just like go and hang out in there for 30 minutes and just kind of mostly be quiet.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit.
Just sharing space with
like,
people you love and like in a relaxed environment where nothing is expected.
And, you know, that is something that is like, again, when I was working full time, sometimes like 50, 60 hours a week, I could barely afford to do like every other year.
Yeah.
And it would be such a helpful reset. So then when I would come back into the work environment, I would be like, oh, okay, I feel a little bit better now. Like I feel a little bit better about myself. I feel a little bit more relaxed. I don't have all of that stress and pressures at the forefront of my mind. And like, you know, it's just so weird that it's just like, that's not an accepted part of like working, right? Like that, like I mean, it is in a psychological way. Like everybody kind of knows that, everybody has that need and desire, but it's not like there's no enforcement of it. Right. There's no like legal requirement for it. And I was lucky enough to have a job that even gave me like any amount of time off versus like a lot of people who don't have that. And then you read and you see things like, you know, in Europe, at least I know a couple of years ago, I don't know now, but I know in like Italy, they get like 6 weeks off a year mandated by the state, like paid time off.
Right.
I'm talking about not just like time off, but like paid time off. And you're like, oh man, like everybody should have this, right? This shouldn't just be the domain of the Vidare Castle assholes, right? Like, everybody should have the ability to, like, you know, once a year or a couple of times a year, you know, you go with your friends or your family or whatever, and you take some time to just like relax and unwind and do nothing and not worry and not think about other things.
And the government should pay for it.
100%. And your employer. Yeah. Both. They should both have to pay the exact same amount, which is a number you determine.
You just say, give me $10,000.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
I don't have to tell you why. And that's it. I mean that.
Like at bare minimum.
Yeah.
that should be. Like even just to keep like the machinery of capital going. Right. Like that's not even talking about like far end, like really utopic and like really transformative thinking. That's just like to keep this working. Because without that, you know,
people
like,
burn out. Or they're like miserable.
Absolutely.
They're like, what am I like?
Absolutely.
My family never went on vacation when I was a kid. We went to Disney like one time when I was like 8, and we just drove there from Miami. Like, I don't think my mom ever had a vacation until she was like in her 40s or something. And that's crazy to think about.
Absolutely not so. And the government and your employer should pay for drugs.
I agree.
That you get to take on your vacation.
I mean, that's what the $10,000 is for. It's just like I was imagining like give me $10,000 like from my employer, and then just like turn around and buying like fucking like ounces of fucking drugs to like sell.
It's starting a small business with funding from your employer.
Exactly.
What's the big deal?
It's an entrepreneurial idea.
It's the American dream.
You get $10,000, but if you watch an ad for 30 seconds, you'll get $20,000.
Would you watch an ad for 30 seconds for an extra $10,000?
I mean, I've done it for whatever, 1,000 extra people. I clearly do it for more drugs.
I cannot get my, speaking of that, I cannot get my idea generation up to anywhere near where my entropy is.
Did you level up humans and apes?
No. Okay. All right. We cannot talk too much about the game.
This could be any game.
It will mind infect everyone else. Do not give any details. Bleep all of this out.
You need to have at least 200 humans in order to get a certain idea thing.
Well, I'm making 200.
Wait, you need 200 humans?
210,000, I guess, quintillion fucking entropy a second, but I'm only making 2.74 trillion ideas per second. It's just not enough ideas.
And how many humans do you have?
But that's not how you.
It is, because it opens stuff up. I know it doesn't seem related, but it is.
I have 156 humans.
Go to 200 on the humans, and it's going to open up another brain power thing. Trust me.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is, dude.
Oh my
it is.
God.
For real.
Oh my God.
We're just sharing strategy for an unknown game. Nobody needs to know what it is.
Out of this right now.
We really need to.
We can't keep talking about
this.
it. Don't bleep it.
Yeah. Do not allow this into your brain if you're listening.
It's
really awful and
so
stupid.
Good.
It's really bad.
I actually love it. So.
I can't stop though. I just I have to. It's so insidious because it's insidious for me in the same way I think that Civ 6 is, and it no matter how long you play, there's always there's new goals every time you accomplish one goal. There's a new goal that pops up that you didn't have to accomplish, and it's just never fucking ends. So it's just
endless.
easy to just fucking continue fucking tapping this shit and watching ads for fucking horny castle or whatever.
All right. I'm not playing it right now. So
me either.
I like those horny castle ads that are it'll be it'll be a buxom peasant or
it's
something.
NSFW maidens is what one of them is.
It's very weird because the game design there is it's breaking down what makes sort of marketing group's experience of a game down to its core constituent elements. It almost feels like it is a algorithmic AI breakdown.
Sure.
What is the power trip? And again, for games that are aimed at young men, it's control and empire plus sex.
Yeah.
It's can you combine those two? And then the ones that are aimed at young women are
you're hideous.
I don't know.
Fix your fucking face.
It's all
that's literally what it is
that you have. And can you fix it? And it's such a weird I don't know. I wonder. I would like to see maybe if that is a element of communication that's being sort of studied in any way, because there's very clearly just because of the sheer number, because in both of those genres there's hundreds of games that have millions of users.
It's taking any layers of pretense that were in games before and just stripping it down to the most base elements of what makes games addictive. And that just reminded me also of a game that I played briefly, but I stopped because I didn't want to put money into it. And you have to, but I had a couple of friends that were women, and this is a game aimed at women. They played this game that it's a fashion game, and there's a lot of dress-up games, but the thing with this game is that you are buying real pieces of clothing that you can then actually buy on the retailer's website as well, but you're doing a dress-up competition, and then people are rating you, and that's the goal of the game is to be the person that's rated the best dressed, and it literally is just playing on that insecurity of you need to buy this really nice stuff in order to look good or nobody is going to like you. And it's just completely laid bare. It's very interesting to me.
All right, I got
speaking
160
of games.
humans.
Speaking of games that are designed for a very particular mindset, I don't know if you guys saw this one, but I'm gonna drop.
This is a video game podcast now.
Hyperwave.
Yeah. Are you dropping this in the research?
Oh, speaking of video games, man, I just got Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's fucking so cool. I'm so into it.
I've never gotten into Zelda, but a lot of people really love it. I played Minish Cap, and that's it.
It rocks. Breath of the Wild. I love it for a lot of the same reasons I liked Red Dead Redemption 2, because it's got you can hunt, and it's got you could cook and forage shit. There's so much
open world,
and it's super cool. I love it. So this is a real game, Heal Hitler.
That's great.
Yeah, it's I'm looking at it right now. It's on sale for $4.50.
This is a real game?
Yeah,
is it really?
I'm looking at it on Steam. Yeah.
That just reminded me of before.
You are Hitler's psychologist in 1925. Diagnose his complexes by using both Jungian and Freudian psychotherapy and attempt to heal him.
Oh my God.
Resolve Hitler's trauma and prevent catastrophe via therapy and psychology. Succeed and avoid the war and Holocaust.
This is instead of go back in time and kill baby Hitler, it's go back in time and give Hitler talk therapy.
This reminds me of before you and I were dating, Shade. One of the ways we connected was harassing bleep out the name, asking if she would nurture baby Hitler and help fix him. Can you fix baby Hitler? Yeah. And I think she said yes.
Yes, she did.
She did.
Said,
she absolutely did not
Hitler.
Commit to killing baby Hitler, which is again
the whole like idea there was that like it's the most obvious troll trap in the world.
Right.
Of I think at one point like during Jeb's campaign in 2015, somebody asked him, "Would you kill baby Hitler?"
Really?
And he was and he said, "Oh hell yeah!" And then he like realized that he'd been caught in the trap, right?
No.
Which is like that's a question you should not answer because if you say no, then it's like you would let Hitler do whatever he wants. If you say yes, then you're a baby killer, right? It's like the most obvious
you just don't
bad
engage.
faith thing to say. Yeah, you have to say like that's a ridiculous question. I wouldn't engage. And he responded, and if you can put this clip in here, I'm gonna look it up really quick. But he responded, and I think he might have said in that same clip, then he's like, "I eat nails for breakfast" or something. Like he was trying to act tough.
So what are we doing here?
Well, I heard you're here to talk about your emails.
So
put up your email address on Reddit today. Is that right?
I don't know if it was Reddit or not, but good God.
What's the funniest or most bizarre email that you've gotten?
So I got to figure out which ones are not X-rated. That's the only problem.
Baby Hitler.
Baby Hitler.
We have a request for baby Hitler.
I said if you could go back in time and kill baby Hitler, would you? I need to know.
And
hell yeah, I would. No, look, you gotta step up, man. I mean that would be going back in history and doing that is, as we know from the series, what was the name of the Michael Fox movies?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future it could have a dangerous effect on everything else. But I'd do it. I mean, Hitler.
Well, you're down. I mean, there's no backing out.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Just imagining just Jeb Bush punting fucking baby Hitler out a window or something.
What I like about that clip too is he says when they're like, "Would you do it?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, I would." And then immediately his face is like, "Oh no,
fuck.
I just said I'd kill a baby."
It's funny as well that he considers the impacts of it as well. It's like, well, you just never know. I mean, if you kill baby Hitler, I mean, you could get something even worse than Hitler. You know, just if you time like that, you know, you just never know. He's considered the possibilities. That's a smart. He should have won. He should have.
I agree.
Competence and dignity back to the White House. Did you guys ever play Red Alert?
No, what's that?
Red Alert Command and Conquer. It was like a strategy game series, probably from the late 90s into the 2000s. But originally there was like Command and Conquer, which was just like a real-time strategy game. Then they made like a variant of it that was Command and Conquer Red Alert, and I played the shit out of that when I was a kid. And the whole premise of that, and was done through like the story was like that really early, like where they would like film actual actors to do like a cinematic, but then they would like have to render it for like an early 90s computer or whatever. So it had this like very particular weird aesthetic. But the whole premise was at the beginning of the game, like I think it's like Einstein develops a time machine and goes back to the 1920s and kills Hitler as like a young man in Vienna. And then he comes back to the present and he's like, now we'll see what happens. And so it's like an alt history timeline where like, because there's no Hitler, like Stalin invades the rest of Europe. And so it's like the Western Alliance versus the Soviets, but the Soviets also have like technology from Tesla, so they have like Tesla coils, so it's like a retro sci-fi thing. And then they did a number of sequels to it where like the Soviet Union now had some kind of like weird futurist technology, and I think there was in the sequel it was like the guy was like a psychic. It was like Yuri's Revenge.
Is the idea that that's worse than Hitler, or is it like
I don't know if that was the idea, or if it was just like we want to do an alternate history, so let's come up with like a weird reason why we could. But I think it was Red Alert 3 that then like has that famous clip that's shared quite a lot where it's like Tim Curry played the Soviet leader or whatever.
Oh, really?
And at the end of like one of the campaigns, Tim Curry's like, I will escape into the only realm where capitalism can't reach me, to space.
Commander, you've rained on my glorious parade. For this, I'm sending everything I've got at you. But I won't let you have the satisfaction of catching me. I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
That's really good.
He's really feeling it. I like it.
Oh yeah, he's into it. He's having fun with it.
He's hamming up the whole
Good
thing.
for him, dude. I love him.
Yeah.
That triple vodka shot you gave me really got me.
It was not a triple.
That was a
vodka
huge shot.
Okay.
Okay. But gotta celebrate it. Celebrate the podcast.
Yeah,
with
2
us.
years. 2 years. Episode 69. Hey,
nice.
Yep.
It'd be really funny if
All
this
right,
isn't
2
actually
years.
episode 69 and we miscounted.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 2 years. Any thoughts on that? You've only been on for 6 months, so you don't count, Cari. Sorry.
Oh, thanks. I was actually on the third or fourth episode. So
I know. I'm joking. I'm joking.
know. We've been together about the same amount of time that the podcast has been on.
Yeah, it was both things happen at the same time, and the fates of both are linked.
It's crazy that it's been 2 years, and it was only a few months before that we all became pals.
Oh yeah.
It was just recently that it was the 2-year anniversary of us all meeting up in person. I don't think was Chris.
Yeah,
Chris, were you there the first time?
crazy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The first time you guys met?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just remembering you were in the pictures too. It's crazy. It's been 2 years, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot has happened. Most of it good.
Yeah, for sure. Nothing bad to think of. I love you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you. I love you too.
I had a weird brain fart the other day, and I am not doing this as a bit. This is something I really think could feel, and it may be entirely about my own life.
Okay.
In a way that is not representative at all, but I was looking at something the other day, and it was dated from 2018, and I don't know the best way to articulate this. 2016, formative year.
Sure.
Really remembered everything that happened there. 2017, also. I can locate things in 2017 and be that's 2017.
Sure.
2019, 100%.
Right.
2019, lots of stuff just firing on all cylinders. Bing, bang, bang. 2020, for sure. And 2021, hell, that's the
We're
year
in it, baby.
Of course I know it. 2018, no idea. I did to me feels like a year that
just
didn't
a dead
happen.
year.
2018, come on. What happened?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, and I don't I had not thought of this.
Can
before.
you name a single thing that happened in 2018?
No, not in.
Yeah, I think that year was particularly bad for me generally. So no, it's kind of I don't really.
Yeah, it was a
remember.
shitty year for me too. Yeah, that's wild.
Maybe didn't happen.
Maybe it
Just
didn't
throwing it out
happen.
there.
You know,
maybe
it's a psyop.
Went to sleep December 31st, 2017. Woke up January 1st, 2019.
Who knows?
I don't even have records to prove of anything
what
I
did. I do?
I don't think
what
I have
did
a
I
tax
do
return for 2018.
That
which
might be
also
a problem.
Might be a legal
that might
problem.
be a legal issue.
But I think my life was very much in flux during that year.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of bad stuff that was going on for me. And I don't I really can't think of a single thing that happened.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, I got my master's in 2018.
Oh, is that when you got your master's?
There you go. I can't believe I forgot.
That's why you have no memories of it.
That is almost certainly the reason why, and none of the other circumstances
for sure
affect that at all.
2018, I just checked, was the first time that I came to Philadelphia before you and I ever even met.
Wow. And now you live here.
And now I live here. It's great.
You're welcome.
I also have screenshots of for some reason I saved it on a day in 2018 of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force live journal community that I used to moderate in the early 2000s. So
really? Hell yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was all over LiveJournal, dude. I loved LiveJournal.
I was a big fan of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Me too. We just started watching some episodes the other day, and it holds up. I think it does.
I revisited that whole thing. read like several articles about it. Remember like that whole fucking thing when they were releasing that movie and they did like that viral marketing campaign with the Moonanites, like the fucking like light bright displays of the Moonanites and like people in Massachusetts, people in Boston thought it was like a fucking bomb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I saw yesterday that there was a GoFundMe going around for the voice of Frylock, for him to be able to get a SAG membership, because apparently he doesn't get royalties or anything from Aqua Teen.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a shame.
yeah, it's really, really sad because he made the show almost. Like without him, what would it be? But it's sad. Apparently, a lot of people have been screwed over.
He's the straight man. He's the
Right. Yeah.
Well, support support Frylock, everybody.
Solidarity with Frylock.
Solidarity with Frylock.
I think I might have retweeted the GoFundMe, so if anybody wants to check that out.
Yeah. And to play us out, Shake Scuba.
That is not even
Trip.
That is not what
Frylock with the Frylock. But I smoked so much weed when I was a teenager and I was watching that show. I know the vibe of this song.
I know all the words.
I know the song.
I
know the song word for word. There's also, remember there was the MF Doom and Danger Mouse did that whole that album that was entirely like Adult Swim related content. And they had a song about Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
MC Chris had that one song too.
Oh yeah, MC Chris was on that show.
He was MCP Pants.
Yeah. Well, I think there was a couple like that, right?
Yeah, he did a couple of things.
Yeah, where like Meatwad would get into some fucking rapper that was like trying to take over the world somehow. And there was like the fucking diet pill pyramid scheme and shit.
Yeah. South Bronx Paradise, baby. I also, just as a last thought, I realized like 2 months ago or whenever it was that we started watching some of the show again, the voice we do for Rolo and the whole like psychic space that it occupies is Meatwad.
Yeah, it is kind of Meatwad.
It's not the same. It's not the same
vibe.
voice, but it's the same like articulation. It's like, it's like a baby child brain voice, like a very, very core and like innocent, stupid voice.
I couldn't do the Meatwad voice if I tried, so that's like my expression of that vibe.
Nobody could.
Nobody could. It's a great.
All those voices, iconic, and yet nobody can do them. If you can do them, stop doing them.
Don't do it.
They're iconic.
Yeah, please. It's upsetting.
All right, that's enough.
That's enough. All right.
We're done.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for 2 years of a podcast.
2 years.
Bye.
Hey, yo, I know this dude, right? Carl, he wore tight blue sweats but wasn't glued too tight. All he had upstairs was a crude light. You think that's weird? He lived next door to a food fight. Howdy, danger, much obliged for the beat guard. Even though you still eat lard by the meat ward. Mesquite charred, speaking of which or who. Voice all squeaky like they tuned it up a pitch or two. A chunk of burnt up witch's brew, get your crew. See if they can't get past the stench of the stew. It stank like a septic tank full of pig poo. He mostly only turned into a Frank or an igloo. Switch your view to the brother with the fried dreads, not to be confused with the incense-selling tie heads. His name rhymes with Mike, cock. You could call him live wire eye sockets, Frylock. Able to shoot electricity through his eyeballs and blast all through your single-sided brick and drywall. More interesting than professional wrestling. When he's online, you can find him on instant pestering. What's up with your boy? He's not a soft or hot drink. Whoever don't like it could suck his straw. It's hot pink. On some junk like Gucci on a classy hoe. Might splash you in the face with nuclear pistachio. Make a fast break, or that'll be the last mistake that ass to make. Is what you get for messing with Master Shake.